Hello and welcome to the Live Election Show 2012.
I'm Lois and this is Sadia. Tonight we're going to be speaking to the students who are running for NUS delegate, student trustees and SRO positions.
We'll also have live sketches from Scribble and we'll be talking to Millie and Sean from LS Media and LS Radio.
And of course the election results will be brought to you live at 9 o'clock.
If you want to get involved, you can tweet us, #SoElections, and we'll do our best to read out your tweets throughout the show.
But first, we're going to give a big welcome to Millie and Sean from LS Radio who've come to chat with us. Hi guys.
Hi guys.
Welcome. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you guys?
Yeah,
Good,
we're
good, thank
Definitely very
you.
excited.
Yeah,
we're a little bit too excited.
Too excited, a bit hyper. So how's the election coverage gone for you this year, would you say?
I think it's gone really well. This year we've had a great kind of collaboration between LS Media, LSFilm and LS
Yeah.
Radio, so we've kind of all joined up and it's been a bit of a media extravaganza.
Nice
Been
media
really
family.
Oh, sorry. It's been really great, playing on all of our strengths. You know, we're obviously radio. We're broadcasting every day at 9, and media. We're doing kind of updates and constant kind of Twitter feeds, and obviously
Live
film
blog.
are doing, you know, what they can do best. So it's great that it's all kind of worked together so that we've got a complete coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Millie, how's the release of the Sphinx newspaper going?
Really well. We are all kind of working to deadlines at the moment. Lots of people are writing probably as I speak, and we will be coming out on Tuesday morning. So
Oh, okay.
it's very exciting.
What can we expect to find in the new Sphinx paper?
Well, obviously news. So
News.
all the coverage of the elections, that kind of thing. Also local news and a bit of world news. But we've got some great sections. Features and comment are doing some really cool things. So look out for them. And then fashion, travel, food and drink, arts, all sorts of stuff. It's going to be
It's
really
all
good.
going on.
Good. And I heard LS Radio recently took part in a 26-hour marathon. How was that for the show?
It was
the
a
team.
it was a fantastic event. I mean, we had loads of people coming on and doing kind of a mini version of their own show, and we really managed to play to kind of new strengths that we'd never done before. 'Cause we'd never done a fundraising thing like this, because we did it for Fairbridge, Merseyside, and it was just a great experience to kind of learn about kind of ways of programming and how to kind of move forward. And it was just a load of fun. I mean, we did do karaoke at 4 a.m. when we lost our minds, but but Millie's witness to that. But it
wasn't our finest moment.
No, it wasn't. But it was fantastic. It was such good fun.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. Is that the kind of event you think the new guild president should try and encourage?
Oh, good question. I think it is the kind of thing that should be encouraged, kind of thinking outside the box and finding new ways of fundraising. Because, I mean, obviously people who do fundraise a lot, it must be quite difficult getting the whole kind of, I don't know how they do it, but it must be quite difficult maintaining interest with students.
Yeah.
And I think this kind of massive fundraiser that doesn't happen, every week, doesn't, fit the box. It's really great to get more students engaged and kind of build people's kind of talents up. Because if you're not interested directly in fundraising, you might be interested in other ways that relate into fundraising. So it's just about expanding that. And I think more events like that would be fantastic. Please, please, SROs.
And you have a live blog going on tonight, don't you? Do you want to tell everyone a bit about that?
LiverpoolStudentMedia.com/election is where that's all happening, and we're all kind of live blogging, telling you what's going on. I'm going to be going out and about and asking candidates how they're feeling and that kind of thing.
The last question they want to answer right now.
And it's also pulling in all the tweets so you can see everything, and on the same page you can see us right now.
This
Yes,
right
you
now.
can. We're next to the
clever is
blog.
that?
If you do want to tweet us at all, it's #SoElections. If you want to get involved, say anything at all, give us your opinions, and we're going to try our best to read as many out as we can tonight. So
Yeah, definitely tweet us your opinions and thoughts. But here's Amber with the student Q&A video.
possibly. Okay, welcome back. As we said before, you can get involved by tweeting #SoElections, and we've got Harriet here with us now, who is going to tell us a little bit about the tweets we've had so far and have a little bit of a chat about that. Welcome, Harriet.
Hello.
Hello. So, have you been having a look through the tweets?
I have, yeah. I've just had a look.
What sort of stuff have people been tweeting?
The most interesting ones I've seen so far are about people not voting because they're in third year.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Like they think voting is not relevant to them anymore. But I've seen quite an angry tweet from someone
dear.
I won't name.
Anonymous.
Yeah, just suggesting that basically people don't care enough about the future of their uni when they're no longer going to be there. So
Yeah, so the general consensus is third years aren't voting.
I think so. Yeah, and I've heard. I actually saw Sam Butler earlier, just walking past him, and he said the same thing. He was a bit worried about the fact the third years weren't voting as well.
Yeah, you do get a lot of people kind of saying, "Oh, I haven't voted yet. I haven't voted," and they're not going to.
Yeah, it's a shame. A lot of people don't even know the elections are going on.
Yeah.
No, this is true.
We've done our best to get the news out there.
Yeah. What have you had any other interesting tweets?
Yeah. We've also had a lot of the candidates just saying that they're really glad that it's over, and
I bet.
I've seen a few of them just running around looking like insane people. Hair everywhere.
Sweating.
Yeah. So Maggie Hayes said, like, what will be will be, and she's just really happy that it's over and something is going to come of this.
They must be feeling nervous quite now.
I've seen a lot of really nervous people as well. A lot of caps lock on tonight.
A lot of exclamation marks in the tweets.
Exactly.
It's sort of that tense moment now where it's building up to it, but there's nothing more they can do really, is there now, apart from just hope.
Exactly.
And stress.
Yeah. A lot of people saying as well that they're just really looking forward to tonight and the celebrations that are going to go on and things.
Yeah, it's going to be a good night, to be fair. We've got
Ruth
Scribble,
Brewer, for example, has said in excitement, I've gone a bit overboard with the spray on bronzer. I look ridiculous.
We're going to be
pretty excited about that
tonight. Exciting. I can't wait to see that.
I think everyone's going to make a huge night of it. So,
have any more of the last year's candidates got in touch via Twitter, or is it just Ruth?
There have been a few. Yeah. Well, there was one from one of last year's candidates. Can't remember who it was.
Let's have another look. See if there's any more updates.
Yeah. How does this work?
I don't know.
Okay.
Not quite.
So, one person did actually say that they were just surprised by that there has been an increase in votes and how the campaigning's been pretty solid this year.
That's good. At least everyone, a lot of people are getting involved this year.
Yeah.
That can only be a positive thing, I suppose.
Yeah, it's been really out there in your face.
It has. Less posters this year, though, I think. I've seen a lot less posters.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll have another look through and tell you if anything interesting
Get in touch anyway. We'll keep the tweets coming in.
We'll do, yeah. I'll be back later.
#SoElections. We'll see you later for some more updates.
Thank you.
Thanks, Harriet.
Whilst Luke Staunton intends to prioritise the fight against attacks on education contained within the Higher Education White Paper. Finally, Maggie Hayes wants to better represent the student voice, and Rongyan Chen is looking for wider and more equal representation of students, especially international students.
Finally, we also have to elect
Right, we're here with Bob and Harry now, who are both running for NUS delegate positions this year. So how are you guys feeling? Are you nervous? How's it going?
Slightly nervous, yeah, obviously you'd expect so.
Tension's building. Bob, you were vice president last year. What made you decide not to run for that kind of position again?
I mean, largely stuff like outside of student politics. I'm actually moving back down to London to continue my course. It wasn't a sort of political decision in relation to standing as an officer. But yeah, it was quite. I don't know what I'd think about doing another year, but it wasn't anything to do with kind of that wasn't. It was things outside of the job that affected the decision.
I see.
And in your manifesto, you talked about helping to contribute to the text that LGoS submitted to the NUS conference. What specific aspects did you contribute to that?
So I wrote all the policy we're submitting to the higher education zone, so everything largely relating to higher education funding, both in a general sense. You know, we've got a motion which is saying that, stating the basic kind of case for why, you know, education should be run as a public service funded through tax to the rich, but also slightly more nuanced stuff, looking at trying to get our teeth into what the white paper is actually proposing. The thing I've probably gone into most detail about, something that's quite close to my heart, is sort of access and how the new number controls involved and the restructuring of university admissions is going to really like hammer access and hammer people from non-university background places getting into institutions like ours. I've also submitted some stuff around the right to protest and anti-racism.
Harry, we'll move over to you. It's a huge responsibility, obviously, to be elected for NUS delegate. What made you think you were right for the role?
Well, I'm new to the university. I was just the first year, and I've been involved in sort of student representation for a while at A-level and secondary school and stuff. And it's just something I wanted to get into straight away, and it's something I've been passionate about for a while. And so this was the next logical step.
Okay, and in your manifesto you mentioned how there's been a gap, or the guild has gone too quiet. Do you think there's been a gap between students and the NUS?
Yeah, sorry to say next to you when I say this, but I'd probably say so. Like when I first got here, it sort of in freshers week there seemed to be a lot of going on and stuff, and then since then it all sort of like dropped off a bit, and I don't know. It might just be a case of students need to be more proactive in getting involved, but I don't know, I sort of think that shouldn't have to be the case. It should be the guild contacting the students and making students aware of what's going on and just.
So, Bob, how do you think students this academic year should be treated compared to what's happening now? What are your thoughts on what should happen for, just to improve the situation, really?
I mean, how they should be treated by... Well, I will correct me if this isn't the right thing you wanted as an answer. I think universities have a choice now. Either what's happened on a national level has put universities in a very difficult situation, a situation they might not necessarily like to be in. But at the moment, I think what the picture is, you know, the noises that have been made by our senior management and the noises that have come out nationally is that, you know, they'll sort of wring their hands and say, but we don't really have a choice, and if we have to cut a department, you know, we don't really have any other options if we've got to attack staff's terms and conditions. I think it's what universities should be doing is saying, we're not going to push through these changes, we're going to flatly refuse to cooperate with this legislation. It's absolutely devastating in terms of its effect on education. But I think the only way that's going to happen is if there's a much bigger groundswell of students imposing themselves upon their institution and making that the case that they're more scared of implementing these changes than they are of saying the government to go.
And Harry, what sort of changes do you hope to see for the welfare of University of Liverpool students in particular?
Well, again, what Bob's been saying, I mean, like the uni, there seems to be too passive. Like it just seems to be accepted too quickly. And I mean, what I want to see is a bigger student movement, really, like starting from Liverpool University and then like on a wider scale from the NUS sort of.
How do you think you can encourage that? How do you think you'll get everyone involved, and sort of what's a good starting point for that? Do you think it's making people aware of the situation?
That's definitely it.
I think that's a major problem, really.
People know that the fees are going up and stuff, but then like that's it really. They know that, and they've seen the headlines about that, but they don't know like the full implications of that, and then other aspects about the bill, and then I mean it's just getting more students aware so they're actually engaged in the politics of like. It's hard to get away from it. I mean, like, I'm a politics student, so I'm actively interested anyway, but it seeps into all other areas, and so I think people should be a bit more informed, and then they'd be a bit more engaged perhaps.
Yeah, definitely.
So what tactics have you guys been using to try and get those crucial votes? Have you had any tactics you'd like to tell us about, or is it just spreading the word?
Makes it seem rather cynical.
Cunning.
It makes it seem like a game.
I'd like to think my charm.
Your charm.
No, I've not been trying to not bribe in any way or something like that, but no, I've just been getting out there with one of my friends, Al, and
spreading the word.
Yeah, handing out posters.
Okay, well, I think we're going to have to stop there for a second, but thank you very much, guys, for talking to us, and I wish you all the best in the elections.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you.
What do they do? They are elected to represent LGoS's views at the NUS conference in April, helping to shape the NUS's national agenda. There are 5 positions to be filled this year.
Anne Manzou wants to provide a greater range of student activities, and Charlotte Nichols intends on supporting multiculturalism and opposes fascist organisations such as the EDL. Dee Lee plans on helping to reduce tuition fees and create more work opportunities, whilst Emma Lynch wants to impact local communities by increasing production of own foods and green spaces. And Omar El-Taji wants to support Palestine and raise other international issues.
So who do you want to represent you?
Right, we're here with Charlotte, another NUS delegate candidate. How are you feeling?
Not too bad.
Nervous?
How do you think the week's been, the election week so far?
I think it's been challenging for most of the people involved, but luckily NUS delegate is sort of not as much riding on it as SRO, so you can take a bit more of a relaxed attitude to it.
A bit more calm. Good.
I'm sorry. In your manifesto, you mentioned you were standing because of the unfair cuts on education, and you mentioned liberation groups as well. Is that something that you're really passionate about and you want to?
I mean, big time. One of the things that in terms of the restructuring of higher education with the white paper and in terms of cuts to higher education, the people that are most affected by it are working class students, black students, women, disabled students, and students who define as sort of under the LGBT umbrella, if you like. They're hit disproportionately. And so in terms of looking at the cuts and them being unfair, I think that most people could agree that they're not, but it's who it hits hardest that's the real problem.
Yeah, definitely.
So what changes would you like to see for the students of Liverpool and the students across the country, really, nationally?
I mean, realistically, in terms of the white paper, sort of makes students into consumers rather than people that have come to better themselves through education, for example, and it's the completely wrong way of looking at education, because it's not like going to Tesco's and buying a degree. It's a completely separate thing and should be looked at in that way. And again, making sure with things like anonymous marking, for example, where students that fall into the liberation groups get lower marks when it's not marked anonymously than when it is, and things like that, that these things that sort of inequalities built into the current system, which are only going to get worse under the new one, are addressed to make sure that everyone has the same access to higher education and the same sort of quality of education while they're there.
So how do you think students have been treated this academic year? I think they've been treated fairly?
Across the board, fairly poorly. I mean, we've only got to look at the Lib Dems talking about students having to pay council tax as one of the things that, you know, we're really sort of, in terms of where their priorities lie, right at the bottom, tripling fees, making it that much harder to go, changing course structures and higher education completely, and then saying, oh, actually pay, I mean, Band A council tax is about £1,200 a year. Most students, if they can't find part-time employment, are going to be living on their student loan of about £5,000 a year. It's completely and utterly unfair. Students have been shafted by this coalition.
The increase in tuition fees is obviously a big issue that most of the people running have spoke about. So how do you think the best way to tackle, obviously not tackle the problem, but what would you do to try and better that?
I mean, realistically, it's not a very sustainable model. For the first part, they said that only in extraordinary circumstances would universities be charging £9,000 for a degree. Unfortunately, most universities have talked about charging that, which means that in terms of the money that the taxpayer's putting in to fund student loans, for example, it's well above and beyond what they're paying now. So the taxpayer's actually losing out by this, and the onus has been put on the student rather than the state for not actually bettering the quality of education, like keeping it the same. It's the same level of funding, but where it's coming from has been changed. So sort of looking at more sustainable models like perhaps graduate tax or, you know, a Robin Hood tax for banks, whereby the money that came from that could be put into the higher education sector as a more sustainable model.
Now, being an NUS delegate for LGoS is a huge responsibility. What makes you think you're right for that role?
I mean, I've been massively involved in the Guild from sort of day one, where I was a student councillor, became a course rep. I'm a trustee of the Guild at the moment. I work in the Carnatic shop, so come into contact with a lot of first years every day. It's that sort of being around a lot of people and being engaged in the democratic processes that are currently in place that I think has put me in a good position to listen to the concerns that people have raised and put them forward.
Yeah, you've got the eyes and ears in the right place to pick up on the problems, clearly. So how's the whole process been, really, like campaigning, and how have you found the whole thing? Has it gone well? Have you enjoyed it? Has it been hard?
I mean, for the most part, I haven't had an awful lot of time to be going out and campaigning, so I've been working. But I have had sort of quite a lot of positive feedback from especially first years who say that they didn't know any of the other candidates and they recognised me as a friendly face from the shop.
Nice.
So voted on that basis.
You've got the Carnatic vote then.
So sort of, you know, sort of going out and speaking to people where I can. But sort of hoping that the legwork that I've put in over the last 3 years has actually meant that, you know, it's better to do that for 3 years than in campaign week going out and knocking on everyone's doors when they've never heard or spoken to you before.
Yeah, hopefully all that hard work you've put in over the years will pay off anyway.
Fingers
it's good
crossed
to know that people will finally get to hear about it as well. Well, thank you very much for speaking to us, Charlotte. I wish you all the best with the elections. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, we'd like to open up a society.
All right, great. Well, the only condition for setting up a society is that you have at least 2 people. Have you got that?
Well, yeah.
Right, okay, excellent. What sort of society would you like to set up?
Pole dancing.
What, sorry?
Pole dancing.
Oh, I don't think so.
Why not?
Well, it's kind of discriminative, isn't it?
Well, we're both women, so it's not really sexist.
Afraid that's still no. Move aside, please. We've got other people to tend to.
Hello, we'd like to set up a society, please.
Of course. Have you got at least 2 people?
Yes.
All right, great. What sort of society do you want to make?
Men's Mud Wrestling Society.
Oh. That seems legit. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Wait a minute. You wouldn't let pole dancing go through, but you'll pass a male mud wrestling society.
Oh yeah, there's nothing with a couple of fellas stripping down and rolling around in some mud, is there?
Are you not going to let women join?
Badly dressed women rolling around in mud?
Yeah.
Greetings. We'd like to set up a new society.
Great, you've got at least 2 people?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what sort of society would you like to set up?
Cheese rolling society.
I don't know about that. Last time we had people got injured by rolling large cheeses down a hill.
We could make the cheese smaller.
Oh, like baby bells?
Yeah, exactly.
So you're going to meet once a week to roll baby bells down a hill?
Damn right.
Well, yeah, that's fine. That's all sorted.
Now, as you may not already be aware, a group of students at the beginning of the year decided to set up a pole dancing society in the Guild. Now, you may be wondering why you've never seen the pole dancing society in the wider community. Well, this is because the SROs felt that flinging oneself around a stationary pole was a gross exhibition of sexism. This may also be why you've never heard of the Maypole Society either. Now, I don't really know how pole dancing can be construed as sexist, because it certainly can't be construed as sexy. I mean, pole dancing is only usually sexy when performed by professionals being paid hundreds of pounds a minute, and you only have to go down to Potworld on a Saturday night to see unpaid, unprofessionals having a go. Usually 46-year-old bright orange women, 2 pasties away from being Jabba the Hutt, named Sheila, usually pissed off cheap alcopops. Now, this isn't normally the sort of image that I think the Pole Dancing Society was supposed to portray, but I mean, I can't really imagine anyone getting their rocks off to someone panting and sweating in their tracksuit round a pole. I mean, it's not really as if the guilds ever intervened to stop people from looking like a twat before, like the Beekeeping Society, the Herding Society, and the Battle fucking Reenactment Society. Now, as you may not already be aware, a group of students tried to set up a pole dancing society in the guild. Now, you may be wondering why you've never seen the pole dancing society in the wider community. And this is because the SROs felt that the act of flinging oneself round a stationary pole was a gross exhibition of sexism. This is probably also why there's never been a male pole society as well. Anyway, I don't really know why pole dancing has been considered sexist, because it definitely can't be considered sexy. I mean, pole dancing's only usually sexy when it's performed by professionals being paid hundreds of pounds a minute, and you only have to go down to Potweld on a Saturday night to witness untrained amateurs having a go. Usually 46-year-old bright orange women named Sheila, pissed off cheap alcopops. Obviously, this isn't the sort of image that the Pole Dancing Society was going to portray, although I can't really imagine anyone getting their rocks off to someone panting and sweating round a pole in their tracksuit. For me, pole dancing has grown from the humble clubs of Stringfellows to the dizzying heights of Olympic sport. That's right. If it wasn't for the fact that there was no standardised scoring system, we could have all been unsuccessfully applying to watch the pole dancing at the London 2012 Olympics. For me also, pole dancing has become an empowering sport, not least due to the heavy celebrity endorsement. To quote, for example, saucy Dame Helen Mirren. To be honest, I'd much rather be watching pole dancing. Not that I'm gay or anything, I just rather enjoy the ballet of it. And if you look at it that way, an endorsement from Dame Helen Mirren is essentially an endorsement from Queen Elizabeth II herself. So if you put it this way, to ban the Pole Dancing Society in the Guild, the SROs were not only committing a sexist and an anti-feminist act, they were also committing a fundamental act of treason. God save our gracious Queen.
Okay, before we start on the statistical analysis of the distribution of the pond snail, we have a few SRO candidates who'd like to share a few words with you.
Hey guys, vote for me in the next SRO elections because I want cheaper prices at the guilds, more contact time with personal tutors, and to improve societies. Thanks.
Hi guys, vote me number one in the next student elections because I want the guild to be less expensive, personal tutors to have more contact time with students, and to make societies just better. Thank you.
Okay guys, vote for me. Number 1, cheaper guild prices, more contact time, more rights for societies, further positivity.
Well, you're probably not going to vote for me anyway, are you? So, sorry for wasting your time.
And we're very much looking forward to that. Now, as you may have guessed, the pond snail is often found in ponds.
Hello and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the sketches from Scribble. Thank you for sticking around, and remember you can tweet us at #SoElections and we'll read out your tweets throughout the show.
Yeah, keep your opinions and ideas coming in and we'll get as many of them read out as possible. But for now we're going to introduce Amber and Kat, who are going to be presenting for us as well.
Hello.
Hello, girls.
Hi.
Right, who have you got coming up? Who are you going to be speaking to?
We're going to be interviewing Martin, who's a prospective student trustee.
Okay.
Yeah, and James, who's also a student trustee.
Right.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, well, we've just been speaking to the NUS delegates, as you might have seen.
How do you think it went?
They were quite interesting. They had a lot to say, and I think good luck to them, really, for their campaign.
I think they're quite nervous now, but they all seem quite prepared for the role, to be honest. I mean, Bob's obviously had a lot to do with the guild last year, being vice president. He's written a lot of the text that would be going to the NUS conference, so he's quite prepared for it.
Charlotte's been sort of involved in student life since first year, hasn't she? So
she had a lot to do with the guild, didn't she? And
Yeah.
She's done all sorts, and she works in Carnatic Shop, so she knows all the first years.
Always an advantage there.
I think she's got a lot of first year votes there. Apparently they said she's a friendly face.
Some free sweets.
Yeah, didn't think of that. Maybe I didn't ask her. I should have asked her if she's been doing that. But yeah, Harry as well. He's only a first year, but he seems quite into his politics.
Ambitious,
He said he wanted to get involved straight away as soon as he got to uni. So. Yeah. Which is obviously what he has done, and he said he used his
he relied on his charm.
Relied on his charm to get votes. But I think he is. Yeah, interesting. But I think he is quite prepared as well. So they were all good, weren't they? Really
good.
Yeah. I think any of them would make a good NUS delegate,
definitely.
But we will find out later.
Yeah, 9 o'clock we'll be giving you the results live.
Yes. So, are you looking forward to speaking to your student trustees?
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they're going to get done.
Okay, well, now it's time for the interviews, I think.
Yeah.
Welcome. Tonight we'll be looking at voter turnout in this year's election. The electorate are on tenterhooks due to all 4 previous SROs jumping ship, bar Bob Sutton, who is looking to join the HMS NUS, making 3 of these 4 unnecessary. Leaving just Bob. Now we're going to be joined by Patrick Bandicoot from the Statistics Compound. He'll be joining us in the studio as a hologram.
Thanks, Matt. It's been a real humdinger of an election with record voter turnout reaching as high as...
Hold on! Patrick, aren't you meant to be a hologram right now?
No, I am a hologram. I really am a hologram. Woo!
No, you're not a hologram. You're just a man throwing glitter, making a mess live on air.
Sorry.
Just get back to the statistics, Patrick.
Well, like I said, record voter turnout reaching as high as 100%, beating last year's turnout of only...
Hold on. Patrick, you're saying that every single student has voted this year?
Yes, I'm quite sure. 100% voter turnout.
Are you sure? Because yesterday's figures showed that 8% of the student body had voted, and you're suggesting that today 92% voted.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I can tell you for a fact I haven't voted.
No, you're not on the list.
So how many people have voted, Patrick?
100%.
Do you mean 100% of the people on your list have voted?
Maybe.
You don't know, do you, Patrick?
No.
Right, just forget that. Please tell me you've at least got the photometrics for the rest of your section.
Yes, I've got the photometrics. I've got the breakdown of female to male voters here.
What the hell was that?
What was what?
The thing with the pencil.
You mean the transition effect? It came with the hologram.
That's not a transition effect. You're not a hologram. What the hell have you spent that money on?
Well, the thing is, I was gonna buy the special effects. I really was. I was gonna call the guy, but then my friend gave me a good tip, so I put all the money into Disney stock, and he assures me we'll be seeing huge profits after the weekend. So, while we don't have special effects right now, we'll have lots of money to buy more special effects on Monday.
We're not going to get any money, are we? That man doesn't exist, does he? What have you actually spent the money on?
You're right. There wasn't a guy. I spent the money on what I thought was a much more worthwhile cause. Put all the money towards a ticket to Uganda. I'm going to find Coney. I'm going to stop him.
That's bloody ridiculous. That's the end of your section. You disgust me, Patrick. Well, after that disaster, we'll be handing back to the studio. It's a real shame. We had a lot more to say about... Bloody idiot.
Well, that was informative. Anyway, I'm Kat.
And I'm Amber. And now we're going to have a rundown of all the student trustees with Nat.
Activities within the Guild. While James Telfer is set on restructuring the Guild's financial process to make it more student-friendly. Martin Poyle intends on improving the functionality of the Careers and Employability Service.
Each candidate... Hello, Martin.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well. How are you?
Good, yeah, great.
Good.
How are you feeling?
Not too bad, yeah. Nervous, excited, yeah.
Much time left?
No.
How do you feel your campaign's gone so far?
Yeah, it's gone well. It's been busy, but it's been good fun and yeah, non-stop. But yeah.
So obviously having a good relationship between the Guild staff and the students is important for your policies. How do you think you're going to be able to ensure that?
Is in between the Guild staff and the
students, yeah.
The SROs?
Yeah.
You mean? Oh, kind of making the students aware what's going on in the Guild by kind of they've been elected based on a manifesto, so why not kind of let them know what they've done, what they're planning to do, kind of let the students know what they've been elected for and what they're doing.
And you mentioned in your manifesto that you think that the allocation of rooms is unfair. In what way do you think this is unfair?
It's just I find that the Guild has become quite like financially driven, and I think that they're quite into getting all their gigs in and stuff, and I think that often overtakes the priority, which should be students.
So who does it affect?
Students wanting to, I'm involved in the drama society, students wanting to rehearse, I'm sure the band stock and body stock.
So you want it more like student focused rather than financially driven?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And so what made you run for student trustee?
I've been in student council and I enjoyed the kind of representation part, and I wanted to take it to the next level and be able to get up to the kind of next step in passing the policies
Out of all our candidates for president, which do you think would be your first choice and why? Well, I mean, I can kind of guess, but a little obvious right there.
I think Sam Butler is definitely the best guy for the job, and I'm not just saying that. I genuinely think that he.
Why do you think that?
He's really passionate about it, and not just in terms of wanting to get a job. He genuinely wants to kind of make a difference to the Guild. I think he's had a lot of experience in these kind of roles. He'd be good.
Would you make a good team?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. How do you think it's gone generally?
The election?
Yeah, and campaigning and everything. How do you think?
Okay, yeah, you get a mixed reaction from students, definitely. You get some people who aren't interested at all. You get some people who haven't heard anything about it but want to be interested. You get kind of the in-between types. You get the people who want to read the manifestos. So it's been a mixed bag in terms of student interest or not.
Yeah. How have you been trying to reach out to students and getting their interest?
Just been talking to them mainly, like stopping them with a bucket of sweets and then
bribery.
Yeah, basically incentives.
It does work though. To be fair on students.
Give me sweets, I'll give you a vote.
Just like chatting to them, really, like chatting to as many students as we possibly can in the kind of small time that we had.
Cool. So do you think you're going to go for a drink later?
Probably.
Calm the
Well,
nerves?
Commiseration or celebration?
Yeah,
well,
either way.
yeah.
Either one of them.
Either way, probably, yes.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
And the Cuba, maybe.
Cool. Okay. Do you have anything else you need to say?
Yeah, just good luck to all the candidates. Yeah, I think, yeah.
Right, well, thanks a lot. Really nice to talk to you.
You too. Thank you.
And good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's vital to have a trustee who understands the workings and the goings on of the Guild. I've been involved in the Drama Society, Student Council, and I think I've kind of got the qualifications needed to take on the challenge. This leads me on to my next point, that I think it's really important. I know everyone here is probably likely to vote for their different candidate, but it's really important that we do get a representation within the Guild. And I think I'm the right person to bring that forward. So yeah, vote smart, vote mart in.
Hi guys, I'm James Telfer and I'm running for Student Trustee, as Josh has already mentioned. Basically, I think you should vote for me solely because I've been in student representation for the past 3.5 years, and I've absolutely just thoroughly enjoyed taking on the role. I mean, I studied history and politics, and I just find it extremely vital that each student achieves the maximum representation within the Guild and within their student union as possible. I think it's absolutely essential that the students, especially with rising cuts and especially with the building refurbishments and the university taking it over, is essential that we have student representation here in the Guild, and trying to promote that, because there does seem to be a lot of student apathy these days.
I think two things is very important. One is the enthusiastic, and the second one is the patient. Enthusiastic, I mean, I will work very hard, and patient, I will listen to everyone, and I will sometimes if you need to do something, you can do it but we can discuss with people. Always we need to solve the problem, but not as one step. And then I also run some student activity in China. I used to run the student activity. I think I also got experience. And I think I'm Chinese. I know I think most of people here, I mean, the activity is only how to attract people from different departments or different nationality is very important. You can know actually I think University of Liverpool is a very important place to have lots of international students.
Well, that was really interesting. I feel like we've got to know the candidates a bit better. So now here we have Hat, our tweet broadcaster.
Hello.
Have you got more news for us at all?
I have actually had a very interesting piece of news, sorry. We've actually had a statement from Bobby Bland. Have you guys heard about this?
I have not heard of Bobby Bland.
The mock SRO campaign. I'll just read the statement as it comes. After last night's rather unfortunate fancy dress misadventure, regrettably I am unable to make an appearance tonight. So instead, I have prepared this statement to read out on my behalf. A spectre is haunting LGoS, and that spectre's name is real political debate and discussion, and we must act now to stop it. Also, let it be known that I had a dream that one day white students and black students could come together over a drink in the Sarrow that was slightly cheaper than the year previously. Although I would face adversity from basic economic principles, I'd never let that dream fade. Furthermore, I would say that you should ask not what LGoS can do for you, but what you can do for LGoS, namely sit down and shut up. It has come to my attention that I really don't have any chance of getting elected, but I would say to those who do, stick to your principles of apathy, your principles of ignorance, and mostly your determination to eliminate any youthful optimism of better future from the student populace. Aristotle said that by nature, man is a political animal. And who am I to disagree? I'll tell you who. I'm Bobby Bland.
Sounds like a great guy.
Quite opinionated, isn't he?
Obviously, we all have something to think about there. So, that's Bobby Bland's statement.
And what are the tweets looking like?
Well, mostly just Lois, come back. We want you back, Lois. Lois, love. That's the other presenter we have here. Sorry, guys, no offence.
It's all right, we'll get over it eventually.
We've also had a tweet from a guy called Dennis. Not sure who he is, where this source has come from. He seems to really like the candidate Aish Aish Baby.
Aish Aish Baby.
Have you heard of this candidate?
Cool as Aish, I've heard.
Yes. Yeah,
cool as Aish.
Everyone screams for ice cream.
Oh, do they? Oh dear.
Do they? I don't know if they do yet.
Apparently so. Yeah.
Yeah. Mostly just people just really interested in what's going on with our presenting and stuff. No one too dramatic there. Just
apart, of course, from Bobby.
Oh well, yeah, yeah. Just a little note from Bobby there.
Anyway, so that was really interesting.
Just all that. Yeah. Just we want Lois.
I think we've got a sketch about the infamous Isham now.
Okay.
Hello, my name's Isham Redford, and I'm running to be your student representative officer. Why vote for me? Well, I'm promising change. Real change. Not like those other candidates are promising, but change. Change you can see, change you can touch, change like this. I intend to tackle the issues, the real issues. Graduate unemployment, that's one. I'll stop that, personally. Spending cuts are generally bad. I'll stop those too, personally. How? Well, I'll tell you how. I'll fight the government. I'll fight anyone. I'll fight you bastards. Come on! Cheaper things. Trains on time. Magic beans. These are all things that can and will happen when you vote for me. Aish, Aish, baby.
Competition for an SRO position is at an all-time high this year. Now let me level with you. Here's a cold, hard fact. A lot of you running will not win. So, what's the best way to ensure that you get what you want? A cushy 18 grand a year job? Well, we here at LSFilm have come up with a system that is foolproof to win an election. And we've presented it to our own candidate, Isham Redford.
Forget everything you know about running for a student campaign. You've probably written a manifesto. Why bother? No one's going to read it. You've probably cut that down to 4 key principles. What's the point? No one's listening. You've probably got yourself a Facebook page with a disappointingly small number of likes that you're expecting to go viral. Fuck off. Got yourself a Twitter? Here's a hashtag for you. Nobody gives a shit. So, what's the most important thing that you have at your disposal as an election candidate? A groovy poster? A good relationship with the electorate? Being as persistent and as irritating as a bad case of the clap? No. The most important thing you have is your name. Your name and its ability to be changed into a hilarious pun. If your name doesn't pun, change it. There are systems in place to do this. If you cannot pun, do not run. That brings us nicely onto the segment that I like to call the best laid plans of Isham men.
Dum 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 da da dum dum. Dum 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 da da dum dum. Dum dum
Aish, Aish, baby.
Dum 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 da da dum dum. Dum 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 da da dum dum. Dum 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 da da dum dum.
It's not all pun and games, though. In order to satisfy the man upstairs and to give your election some kind of credibility, you will have to come up with some policies. Know your electorate. Students. Most of them are idiots. And what do idiots like? Cut price booze. Therefore, cheaper drinks in the guild. Want Aish with that. And of course, somewhere to drink aforementioned booze, like a club night in LGoS. Paint the town Redford. And students themselves, they don't care about the long-term effects of their current actions. That's why in this health-conscious age, I'm going to choose to represent a section of society that's grossly underrepresented. Smokers. You shouldn't be forced outside like some nicotine-hungry leper. You should be comfortable. So I propose heated smoking areas around campus. Want a cigarette Redford? Once you have your policies, you're going to need to score some votes. Why not tap into the previously unexploited minority votes? For example, the Irish. Shamrocks. Shamrocks. Or, for Muslims, Islam for Isham. And of course, there's a dedicated 2 a.m. campaign at the Sidney Jones Library for our Chinese friends, egg fried Aish. Like most MPs despise their voters, so should you. Remember, students are idiots. And what do idiots like? Freebies! In the past, candidates have resorted to giving out sweets in a bid to snag those ever crucial votes. In some cases, people have handed out donuts. And you know you're fucked when you're handing out donuts. But why stop there? There are many companies that are able and willing to set up cheap marketing products for you at very little cost. Here's some to get you started. Election time is the most difficult time of the month for me, ladies. But it shouldn't be for you. Shamatary towels. With the election race heating up, why not cool down with an ice cream? Ice cream, you scream, we all cream for ice cream. And of course, nothing's more important than protecting the safety of our students' future. And what's more safer than these? Shamalama for your ding-dong! Condoms! Because let's face it, if I get elected, we'll all be having much more sex. And that's a promise. Well, finally, it doesn't hurt for you to have some celebrity endorsements knocking around. I enlisted the help of Academy Award-winning relative, Uncle Bob. You might know him as Robert Redford. He had this to say.
You vote for my main kid, Isham, and you make him a star, I'm going to give you $1 million. That's my very own indecent proposal.
Did Robert Redford actually say that? No. Is he really my uncle? No. Does it matter? No. Students are idiots. They'll believe anything. So there we have it. A foolproof, guaranteed way to win yourself an election. And remember, follow these steps and let me, Isham Redford, drive you to success.
Dum 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 da da dum dum. 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 Hello, and welcome to this year's SRO hustings. Candidate 1, have you got anything what will you do when you're elected?
I believe that society should have a higher priority within the university. If I get voted in, I will invest more money into societies, make them easy to run, and generally make them better. Everyone should have their own society. There must be a society for everything. I will rename the University of Liverpool the University of Societies. Society, society, societies! 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 Societies!
Well, thank you, Candidate 1. Candidate 2, what would you bring to the table if you were elected?
What's most important for me in the university is the education that students receive. I believe that it is more important that more time be given between students and lecturers. So I will set up training courses to teach lecturers how to give better lectures and also how to give better feedback to students and students as well to give feedback to lecturers. I also think that there will be more contact between students and lecturers and that I will set up cameras in the homes of the students and the lecturers so there'll be a constant link between them. So they'll be able to talk to each other and there'll be more of a link. And
Well, thank you, candidate number 2. So, candidate 3, what would you do if you got elected?
Well, I personally believe that the number one problem in this university is graduate unemployment. I propose we turn the Guild into a labour camp with the Sarah Viva acting as some form of mill. This will not only solve the unemployment problem, but will also bring money into the Guild in the form of coal, oil, and poorly stitched clothing.
Right, thank you, candidate number 3. So, our final candidate, have you got anything you'd like to say?
Vote for me!
Anything else?
Vote for me, please! No!
And that concludes this year's hosting. So thanks everyone for coming and... Hello, and welcome
back. Well, I know that Aisha and Redford would definitely have my vote.
Yes, he certainly does cater for all kinds of students with his condoms and sanitary towels.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I think I'd rather have the sweets, to be honest.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to pass you over to Rose and Sean now. So thank you very much. Hello there.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
What did you think of our segment?
I thought it was brilliant. Really good stuff. It's really going quite well this evening, I think.
Yeah, exciting.
Very exciting.
It's nice to have loads of different stuff to listen to as well, as opposed to just, hi, what are your policies? What do you think would be important about being a president? Like, there's more to it than that this evening,
Well,
I
we
think.
even had a bit of an a cappella, you know. I believe it.
Oh, God, I know. That's hysterical.
What are you guys planning to do in your section?
We're
Grill
gonna
them.
actually,
We're really going to
them.
make them sweat before the big announcement.
Right.
Really
and we
turn
want
it
all
up.
the fun stuff. Like, they've, as well as like going for this position, there's been 2 weeks of mayhem, and just hearing what's been going on during those 2 weeks, what it's really been like, if there's been any cat fights behind the scenes.
And I mean, because voting is now closed, you know, we can
The gloves are off.
The gloves are off,
Yeah.
exactly. And we're hoping to dig
tear them apart.
Yeah, exactly.
Has anyone got any suspicions for who our gossip girl has been, and whether he or she is going to out themselves this evening? I'm very
I hope she does.
Or he.
I think
Double bluff.
whoever it was missed a brilliant opportunity. They really wasted it. It was a great idea, and they just didn't run with it. I was really disappointed in the whole thing.
They should have continued.
Yeah, definitely.
Really should have continued.
Gossip
It was quite
Girl's
juicy.
Back, and then no, she wasn't.
Well,
she
kudos
sent
for the idea, though. I mean,
The idea was
definitely a good
fantastic.
idea.
It seemed to be executed well, and I think they needed to kind of prepare for the role before. So, you know, it started off brilliantly, and the kind of
and then it fell flat. That's why it was so disappointing, because you could see the potential was just like, this could have just taken over all of the elections.
Got into
really
a bit of a Perez Hilton,
Yeah, definitely.
persona, you know.
Yeah, exactly, and it
It's a
kind of it
shame.
was a brilliant idea, and within 72 hours, I had so many people talking about it
Yeah.
and talking about the elections, which kind of before we started with film and radio and media, we really wanted to engage with students, and I thought that was a brilliant way.
Yeah.
That somebody else was doing for us.
And that was the only kind of current online thing at that time, as you said, when we were waiting for everything to go live on like the Guild website and on the LSFilm YouTube channel. That was the perfect way to be like, oh, so this is what's going on.
Yeah, but I guess it upset some people, really, because some of the remarks were a bit iffy, so maybe they were frightened of making too many enemies.
I mean, it is nice to think of it like that, but I don't know, I think the ones that got it could take it.
Yeah,
You've got to rule out the strong ones, and she only targeted the good ones.
True. Anyway, lovely to meet you.
Yeah, lovely to chat.
Good luck with your section.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. This is an SRO video.
Providing a wide range of activities within the Guild. Oh, hi. You've caught me looking at the candidates for student representative offices. What's on SRO and what do they do? Well, SROs represent the student body and implement policies on their behalf. They're organised into 4 positions: the president, deputy president, and 2 vice presidents. This year, we have a good range of candidates with differing policies. Charlie Brensinger is focusing on funding and ensuring students get everything they pay for at a fair price. Whereas Dee Lee wants to reduce tuition fees and create more work opportunities. Hui Ben is running on a platform of sustainable environment protection, and Maggie Hayes intends on strengthening the relationship between the president and the student body. Finally, Minnie Zhu wants to prioritise international students and make their opinions heard. And Sam Butler plans on improving students' employability potential by providing a wide range of activities within the Guild.
Welcome back. We are now going to interview some of the SRO candidates from the video you've just seen. We're joined by Sam Butler and Maggie Hayes. Hello, guys.
Hello. Hi, you're right. Really generic question. How are you feeling about tonight?
Why not start with that one?
Yeah.
Exhausted?
It's hard, yeah, knackered.
I
Absolutely
think,
knackered.
Yeah, a bit nervous. Bit wobbly legs. But
just want to know now so we can just...
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to...
Genuinely interested as well, like, just to see how the votes
it's all
panned out. Yeah.
Have you got any predictions for how you think it may possibly go, or
Can't ask them that. That's just.
Well, let's think of it then. The other categories. So, not looking at the SROs. I know you've gone for other categories as well, Mags. But say the NUS delegates, for example. Who do you think is possibly secured? Or whose campaign have you admired?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I've seen a lot of Harry. I think he's going to have done quite well. Then obviously there's the current Vice President, Bob. You'd like to think that he's done well because he's holding that post at the moment. Charlotte Nichols, I mean, myself, I'm a candidate for that. But and then a guy called Omar as well. I think he's got like a strong backing. But to be honest, I'm not that sure. I mean, I don't think a lot of people have spoken about that as much as they have the SRO one.
Yeah, I think we all thought the SRO one was quite widely in the balance, but NUS delegate is even more so. I think, you know, a lot of the time it's just who you've heard of, whose name you've heard, and because obviously you run on your own. You're associated with LGoS, but you
don't match up like SROs
you know,
do.
You're very much just completely on your own mandate, and so I think it's about getting that across to people. But yeah, I think, like you said, we've seen a lot of Harry, you know, posters out and about. I've seen a lot of Harry's posters actually.
Yeah, and videos and stuff as well.
Yeah, and chatted to him. You know,
and Harry's good looking as well. Like, I'm not being funny, but he completely had mine. Do you know what I mean?
I think, to be honest, with people that have been out and about, they've asked us about NUS delegate, and a lot of people, because they don't really know what the position is either. You know, it's bad enough. It's bad enough explain what an SRO does. But
oh wow,
yeah,
okay, that was.
But I mean, to be fair, I think last year I was slightly involved in the campaign a little bit with the SROs, and I wasn't really sure what NUS conference was. You know, I think there needs to be a bit more
definitely
and about. But I suppose that's up to the candidates, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
It's up to the candidates, but there also should be kind of responsibility to advertise what the posts are and what they actually mean.
I think, specifically about the NUS delegate, it's also a problem with the NUS itself that it doesn't get out there and talk to its members as much. But
I think, I think last year with the it was the same with trustee, wasn't it? Because that was I think that was a lot more hotly contested. There was a lot more candidates, and people didn't really know what the trustee board did or anything like that. So I think maybe one step at a time. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And aside from all of the work, has there been any play this week? Has there been any gossip? Have you? Because you two in particular are quite a nice two to have as a pair. Because aside from the elections, you are actually good friends. And was it nice to have that kind of support network and someone that knows exactly what you're going through?
Or do you hate each other?
Yeah, I mean, we go way back. We're halls in, we're halls in first year English and drama. You know, like everything. But I think we enjoyed the Raz, didn't we?
Yeah,
we both went down to the Raz on Monday night, and I was a bit nervous about that. I didn't think that people would. I thought people might be like, "Leave us alone. We're a night out." You know what I mean? We've seen you everywhere. Get out my face. But to be honest, we decided that it was kind of, you know, on X Factor on the first couple of weeks, the first live shows. Everyone's quite famous. They don't really know if they're good, but they just know their name. It was that kind of fame.
Yeah.
People were.
Yeah.
I know your face, therefore that's great. Brilliant. And actually, it was quite inspiring because I thought to myself, I hope people are enjoying the elections. You know, I think people seem to be quite
engaged with it, and then really
they
kind
knew
of
what it was. And I mean, one guy right at the end, I can't repeat what he said on this reputable.
Off-air.
But other than that, everyone was, you know, they were loving it, and it was good banter between us and our teams.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
You know, I think that's actually kind of really noticeable this year is that all the candidates seem to know each other that little bit better than last year, and so
I've noticed that.
You know,
I think there's also been a lot of like you said, you understand what the other candidates are going through. I mean, especially for Sam and I, like we got it, and it would be like, okay, let's just hug for 1 minute, and then get
a whole
on with
minute.
It. Like, no, not a whole minute.
That is quite a long
hug. Quite a long hug.
A second, but and be like, right, come on, let's do this. Let's remember why we're doing it. There was one moment on Wednesday where we all were like against the glass window, and we're like, this is so hard. And we're like,
having been watching you for the whole week, that's I felt like that was your kind of point where you.
Yeah.
you hit the wall. And
but then we were like, you know what? Why are we doing this? Why do we want this? Let's do it. Let's carry on.
We had a very rousing speech, didn't we, from Josh on? I think it was Wednesday morning, wasn't it?
Yeah,
to
Wednesday morning.
Yeah, where he kind of said, you know, whenever you're tired, whenever you're exhausted, whenever everyone's just completely fobbed you off, just think about why you're doing it. You know, and actually that was, I think Thursday morning in the shower, I think I was struggling a bit. You know, like. And I just thought, why am I doing it? Why am I even up this early? And that's kind of what keeps you going, really.
And I mean, the weird thing about what you've said, say like, to go back a bit and go to say you had a really good night at the Raz, did you find that kind of out of the university environment, you got through to people a bit more? Because campus during elections can be like, you don't know whether you're coming or going for flyers.
And people kind of boycott it as well if they know it's elections. Yeah. Like, I'll run into my lecture and run back out. I don't want to be on campus.
I think it was a matter of showing your face and showing that you're having a laugh as well and that you can enjoy it. And you're not taking yourself too seriously. Yeah. You know, I had a drink. You know, and I enjoyed it.
Or 7.
No, I tried to stop myself after 2. You know.
Yeah, I think people were... that's what I was worried about, because I think people are aware of it on campus and stuff, but out and about. But actually, I thought that it puts you out your comfort zone as well. And I think when you're on campus, you're very much, even though you're at the mercy of the people, you know, if they say leave me alone or whatever, you're very much still in control. You know, I felt quite safe outside the library. I knew what I was talking about. Whereas all of a sudden you're in the Raz, it's absolutely packed. Everyone's drunk. Anyone can say anything to you or whatever, you know. And actually, I thought that it was quite good to get out and about, and like you say, show that you're not, you know, you don't take yourself too seriously. You're happy to get out there and be like that. And I thought it was really rewarding actually that night, and I was on a bit of a buzz after that.
Yeah.
Right, so thanks for talking to us. Really, fingers crossed for the rest of the evening, and we are going
really,
to go.
really good luck. Like, I think you've both put together like flawless campaigns. That's just
really brilliant. You know,
for me anyway.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, and this is our second SRO video.
In the previous video, we looked at the first group of candidates, and in this one, we'll look at some more.
Alex Palmer-Yee plans on reforming the Guild, thus making it more accessible for students and societies. Shengyang Liu is keen on making the lives of female international students easier through activities such as self-defense and social activities. Chi-Chi Nwokoro wants to focus on cultural diversity and eliminating racism in the university, city, and the UK as a whole. Whereas Chris Wardle intends on introducing a minimum standard for academic feedback throughout the university. While Jinghang Yuan wants to improve the library by increasing the number of hard copies and ebooks available. Finally, Rong Yang Chen is looking for a wider and more equal representation of students within the Guild.
Hi, we're back with 2 more candidates, Alex Palmer-Yee and Chris Wardle.
Hello.
Hey guys.
How are you guys feeling?
Knackered, to be honest. You know, but I mean, I'm excited. I think it's going to be an interesting night, but I think it's just like over like a week and a half of work, and so I'm just a bit tired, you know.
And what did it feel like to wake up this morning and
talk
know
us through that process.
This is the day that it's all over?
Well, actually, I keep having dreams that it's the weekend, so I keep waking up. I keep waking up and I'm like, oh wait a second, it's another day of campaigning and stuff.
God.
I mean,
Don't get to lie in and watch iPlayer or anything. I've got to go out and speak to people.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, I do enjoy speaking to people. It's just I keep waking up surprised that it's not the weekend, so you know.
Yeah,
what about you, Chris?
The idea that it's the final day of the elections completely escaped my mind when I woke up this morning.
Just pure like delirium because you were so tired.
Exactly.
Oh God! And how did you spend the final day? Were you still campaigning, or were you kind of like winding down and preparing for tonight?
I've been campaigning all day. I've done a few lecture shout-outs and I've been flyering all day outside the library, so chasing that final vote right till the end.
Pretty much the same. Obviously, it's a bit difficult to motivate yourself to go and continue sort of campaigning. Like, all students sort of fed up of the elections by now, and everybody knows your name anyway. So, but I did do a few shout-outs. I did a few with Chris actually. And it was mainly outside the Sidney Jones Library, you know, campaigning.
Yeah.
So. I mean, I know I only spent an hour or 2 this afternoon with you.
Yeah.
Apart from the throwing the laptop around antics, it is hard work. It really is.
No, yeah.
So I think it's fair play to you guys and to all the candidates for really spending
Yeah,
that time
definitely.
outside in all kinds of weather. I mean, today you were quite lucky because it was the last and the sun was shining, but it must have been really quite hard earlier in the week and at the end of last week when it was just miserably cold.
Yeah, well, I think like because obviously we've all had our t-shirts, and so it's not really t-shirt weather, but we've all been wanting to wear our t-shirts as much as possible.
Yeah.
So it's sort of sacrificing the coat and putting a few more layers underneath the t-shirt, and then just putting on that brave face and knowing that everybody's miserable because of how cold and wet it is, really.
And what are all the dirty tactics for getting the votes? Like, what was like, if I was running for president, what would you tell me to do to really catch someone's attention?
Well, I don't know. See, initially it was like, have you voted yet? Have you voted yet? But then everybody learns to say yes. So today I tried...
Everybody lies.
So today I learned...
get a mixture. You get a mixture.
Yeah, so today I did the double negative. I said, have you not voted? And then they'd say yes. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, you can vote now. And also just ask them a question that's on your manifesto. So I was always like, do you think the drinks prices in the guild are fair? And then they would be like, no. And I'm like, oh, well, you should vote for me then. Sort of thing. But
yeah, I saw you in action earlier. That was quite an effective tactic for anyone watching for next year.
Yeah.
And Chris, one thing I wanted to ask you in particular, what struck me about your manifesto was kind of, rather than coming up with one theme, it felt like you covered a lot of different topics from all over. Did you find that kind of enabled you to come up with a different strategy because you had loads of different corners to fight, or how do you think that worked?
Well, one thing the Guild President has to do is bear in mind all students and has to be able to have a look at all areas of things. And I think my manifesto really did reflect that.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I think it allowed me to adapt my manifesto to the circumstance. Whereas some other candidates had a manifesto focused either on the university or international students, I was able to change my strategy throughout the campaign and adapt.
And Alex, you say the Guild doesn't really understand or support the needs of students. What do you think in particular it's lacking? You can say what you want now. You're not trying to win our votes over, but it's just one of those things that you...
Voting's closed.
I think,
Alex, you need the dirt.
I think it sort of doesn't understand like that sort of students like they do want a serious guild, but I think they like it's not. I don't think the guild's that fun at the moment. You know, there's all these like events, but it's all various serious names. Like, well, like you call like the Christmas party was called Winter Jamboree, which sounds like a scout sort of thing, doesn't it? Really?
I didn't even know what that was. I don't know what the word jamboree means.
And like
you can't say Christmas.
Yeah, and it was like, and it's sort of, and then like cultural fusion. I mean, not wanting to diss it at all, but I mean that sort of
no,
that doesn't.
It's getting a bit ridiculous.
It doesn't sound so. Yeah, I think it's not fun, and like, and also it's just so they come across as like the sort of the old guy trying to be cool and be hip with the students, but
instead of calling a spade.
Yeah, exactly, pretty much.
I mean, I've been in the bar a lot of times after band practice, and it's been absolutely dead at times. My band have been the only people in that bar. It's ridiculous.
Did you do anything with the band this week, Chris, to like unwind, or did you not have really the time?
Well,
we tweeted actually. This man was busking.
Yeah,
on Chris's campaign
was
busking out around uni, so we caught that on LS Radio Twitter.
I mean, it's been difficult this week because it's been the same week as Bandstop Battle of the Bands. I mean, Heat 3's on tonight, so unfortunately half my campaign team aren't here to cheer me on.
Oh, you're joking?
Yeah, unfortunately. But I've made sure to show my face at all the heats that have gone on.
Yeah.
Made sure to canvass around. Of course, with my band have been... I've done 1 or 2 practices during the election campaign period, so we're ready for our heat next Tuesday.
Oh, fab.
Very nice. So, obviously, you're talking about your campaign team. What do you guys feel, not together, obviously, you know, your individual highlight was of the past 10 days?
I don't know. I think
Tuffy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love my campaign team, and we've had I mean, some of them haven't been around for that much because obviously, like, my campaign team are third-year students, but. I think the highlight was we were at Holes and my sort of gimmick, instead of giving sweets out, was giving out lager and Coke, and we had.
Where was I?
Yeah.
Where was our invite, Alex?
That was mine. I know exactly, and there was like
the competition, Chris. He wouldn't have invited you.
Yeah, there was like 6 of us, and we were all getting properly into it, and we were chatting with students, and that's what I think people at Hull's like. Although, surprisingly, I think first years are sort of less fun than my year because they were all going for the Coke instead of the lager.
Definitely.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Alex Palmer-Yee and Chris Wardle. We are now going to go to our third.
Good luck tonight,
video.
boys. We'll be rooting for you.
Yeah,
thank
good luck.
you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
In this last video, we'll be looking at the final group of candidates.
Ankita is prioritising diversity across the university in all its forms, whereas Anman Zhu wants to provide a greater range of student activities within the Guild. Patrick McNamara plans on using block purchasing power to liaise with companies on behalf of students to ensure better deals. Ryan Zhu's key aims is to readjust the book portfolio in the library, creating a wider range of sources, and Tom B wants to support societies by making it easier for them to form, run, and fund themselves effectively.
We're back again.
We're joined by Paddy and Yuan. And so,
Hello.
Boys, we were just talking before you two came on with Chris and Alex, and we were asking them what they thought the highlight was of the last 2 weeks.
Their campaigning highlight.
Yeah. What would you say has been the best part of the experience so far?
For me, the highlight has been the chances when you've got into a proper conversation with people.
Yeah.
Got into a conversation about the points. Going down to Hull's on Tuesday night, watching the Everton-Liverpool match was a good one down for the derby. And then consoling my Derby Blues by chatting to students and getting them interested in the issues and getting a few votes, which compensated for the loss somewhat.
Oh, cool.
Right, yeah. The highlight for me is like the time when I make this decision that I want to apply for this, go for this election, because I've never been doing something like this before, because it's a tough decision, but I enjoy it now.
And what was it that made you go for it?
Because I was told that for the last few years there's no international student elected.
Yeah.
Because I feel that, somehow our voices were ignored. Not that, but... and I am the man who would like to try something new.
Oh,
and funny.
As you just pointed out, pardon me, there have been no international SROs. What do you feel like you can bring to the role?
Well, first of all, I know a lot of international students. All right, I guess a lot of people know it. But for these days, for these 1 week, 9 days probably, I have spoken with a lot of them because I kind of know what's in their mind, what they require, and what's their desire. 'Cause for any SRO, I think the most important things are like you talk to people, you communicate with each other, so you get to know what they really think, what they really want to do for them.
Yeah.
I think it's really important that we get an international student elected onto the SRO positions. I think it's been quite poor.
It has been a long time, definitely. And how do you think, you, for instance, Pad, you're head of the Philosophy Society, is it?
No.
Rose, do your research.
Wrong.
I'm chair of Labour Society.
I knew there was
students.
one. Right. How do you think that's impacted on kind of having different pockets of people, as you said with the international students and you've got the Labour students? Do you think it kind of gives you more of an opportunity to really have that conversation and get more into your policies and stuff?
I think the Labour students is a work in progress. We're getting there. It's something that's going forward. It does give a chance to talk about issues with people. But I think it was broader concerns was the campaign that I wanted to go with. It's talking about educational issues that apply to everybody across the spectrum.
Yeah.
Regardless of political affiliation.
Yeah.
Probably needs a question for you now. In your years at Liverpool University, working with the Guild, what have been your positive and also negative kind of aspects and things that you'd like to change, working as part of a society and kind of that idea?
For the last 2 years, I've been involved in the trustee board, and what's been brilliant about that is I've been quite involved with politics, society, and affecting change and groups like that over the years. But on the board of trustees, you really see what's going on across the whole spectrum of the student body, and that's really exciting, and it's a privilege to see everything that's going on and all the work that's happening together. Negatives, it's tough. Issues arise every now and again.
You can say it. There are no voters out there. You can say exactly what you think.
A while ago. I'm not worried about that. I know. It's. I wouldn't say so. No, I think that issues arise, but I think that's part of politics. Yeah. And it's good to have the discussion with people.
All right, Johan, as you spoke as an international student, how do you attempt to kind of bridge the gap between international students and kind of home students? And do you think there is that much of a gap?
Well, because I do realize that there's a gap between international students and local students, because for a lot of people, they got English people, they got their own group of friends, and they hang out with English people often, probably. And I got my own group of friends, like mostly Chinese, but yeah, some other international students as well. But things like these two big group of people, I don't think they communicate with each other that much, because we have a different culture, different language, and all this stuff. But after all, I think University of Liverpool is a universal one. Like everyone should have the chance to, at least to get to know what kind of activities having now. Because sometimes we just don't know what activity that you guys is having, and sometimes you guys don't know what I'm having.
And do you think that might start in halls? Because I remember in my halls there would be international floors and English floors, and there was no integration between the two.
I think that is one of the reasons.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know. For Chinese people, for some Chinese people, we kind of shy.
Yeah.
Not likely to talk to people, but I think cultures like. Our culture can influence others, and other culture can influence us. The thing is, like, we need to get to know each other better.
Yeah.
And it starts from guild, at least.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much both for coming down. You've done fantastically well. Good luck later on this evening.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Best of luck tonight.
This is something you might enjoy.
Hi, my name's Emma Brown for LSFilm, and today we're going to go around campus and see how aware students are about the student elections. So follow me. Do you have any idea about what the current student representative officers do?
Not particularly, to be honest. No, just dealing with student issues and stuff.
Yep. Do you have any idea about what the current student representative officers do?
I know that they work really hard. I regularly visit the office, and I've seen their work plans as well. I've seen what they've been doing. They're very active in terms of they get out of the office a lot as well. So, but I couldn't tell exactly what they've achieved. I can tell you what they do, but I can't tell what they've achieved.
Do you know what the current student representative officers do at the moment?
I don't know. No.
Okay. Do you know who the current president is, or the vice president?
No.
No? Okay. Do you know who the current president and vice presidents are?
Yeah, Maeve, Josh, Bob and Ruth, but I know them all individually.
Okay. Do you know who the current president is?
No, Maeve.
Maeve?
Yeah.
Oh, those.
Yeah.
What would your ideal candidate be, and what policies would they have?
I suppose it has to be someone who got stuff done rather than what they got done, because I don't feel like anything gets changed, to be honest.
Okay, cool. What would your kind of ideal president do? What kind of policies would they have?
More uni time specifically. That's it really. More value for money, I'd say.
Yeah. What would your ideal presidents do? What would their policies be, do you think?
More events in the guild.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Better organised events.
Yeah.
Okay.
My mate Alan. Just.
Yeah, I'd vote for Alan.
Yeah. Sound.
Why? What's he like?
Outgoing. It's half French, so it's kind of the diversity's in there. He's older. He's wiser. All-round good guy, I'd say. Yeah.
I'd vote for Alan because he's got a great personality and a really good sense of humour. Yeah. And I don't know anyone running for president, so I think Alan would be a good choice.
That is a good point. In fact, I saw some posters, so people have actually started now.
Yeah, they are started running.
Tom B, but I don't think he's running for president, is he?
Have you seen the posters around?
Lots of posters.
Yep. Do you have a favourite?
A friend of mine's friend is running, so I might vote for him.
Who's that?
Don't know.
Oh, okay. Have you seen the posters around for the candidates?
Not yet, no.
No.
Not like last time. Who's that one last time?
No.
One girl did it a lot, like they were everywhere.
Yeah?
Yeah, I saw those last time, but then she didn't even get it. So.
Okay, but not this year?
No, not yet.
And do you have a favourite poster?
I
I don't know. There's a couple out there at the moment that I'm waiting for one to really prop up that's, you know, clever. I've heard Isham Redford actually has got an idea. He's not running, but he's thinking of putting up a poster campaign anyway. Yeah, because he's weird like that. Yeah, someone with a kind of good quirky poster. I've yet to see one.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
Thanks for all the people who spoke today. As you can see, some people know a lot, some people don't. Thanks for watching.
And we're back again. Hello. We're now joined by Harriet, who's going to go through what you guys have been saying live on Twitter.
Yes.
What have we got?
We have had some pretty interesting tweets recently.
Ooh, spill the beans.
Yeah, last half hour's getting heated. So, Gossip Girl's back.
Oh, hey. Finally. It was about time.
Yeah.
God, she's been under a rock for a week.
The words exactly are, will I reveal myself tonight before the live election coverage ends? Who's to say I'm not already there?
Probably won't, because they're a big snooze, whoever they are. So, Gossip Girl, if you're watching, I dare you to reveal yourself.
Or presenting, seeing as I've been told twice this evening that I'm Gossip Girl.
I originally did suspect Sean, but now I'm not so sure.
Who knows?
Who knows?
The coverage has not ended yet. We don't know.
What if it's you, Harriet?
Oh, could be. Who knows? I might just pull off my facade. Okay, so we've had Barry the Bandit saying he is refusing to vote in the elections tonight.
Well, too late. Tough. You should have voted. You should have said that before 5 o'clock.
That's interesting. Did he give a reason why?
No. I mean, just the point. He just thinks. Doesn't say what he thinks actually. He just refuses to be silenced. I think he's making some sort of political point in this. But say why, Barry? Why?
Yeah,
are you throwing all your toys out the pram,
Harry? Why? Because that is quite interesting.
Sounds like a Bobby Bland thing all over again. Yeah. That went well.
It was pretty interesting though. I
did like
quite
that.
Apparently that poster, if any of you aren't sure of what we're talking about, Bobby Bland was a fake campaign, and that poster was up in the Guild offices. But anyway, we're going to, speaking of the Guild, introduce you to the best of Ruth Brewer and see what you think of this.
Nice segue.
Thanks.
On your LGoS profile, it says that you're a Justin Bieber enthusiast and an avid Liverpool supporter. Can I ask why?
Well, the thing with that little profile was that was never meant to go on the website. I sent it to be put up to our digital design coordinator, who incidentally is brilliant, but he just thought, well, that's what they want, so he just copied and pasted it straight across. And so then I went on the website, saw that was there. Was a bit embarrassed, but now I don't really care. I do like Justin Bieber, even though he's a homophobe.
On your LGoS.
In an interview with LSFilm, as you've just seen, Ruth Brewer was asked about certain comments made on her LGoS profile page. Specifically, I am an avid Liverpool FC supporter and Justin Bieber enthusiast. When asked about this, Ruth said, I am a Justin Bieber fan, even though he's a homophobe. Which, of course, brings us to the single biggest issue facing student politics. Is Justin Bieber a homophobe? Now, the normal thing to do in the 21st century when asked a question is go and ask Google. Now, Google, being the helpful soul that he is, normally tries to guess your question before you've even asked it. So, if you type in, is Justin Bieber, into Google, you're met with the following responses. Is Justin Bieber a dad? Is Justin Bieber a father? Is Justin Bieber dead? And is Justin Bieber gay? Is Justin Bieber dead gay? Anyway, when you get further and you type in, is Justin Bieber a into Google, Google autocomplete suggests, is Justin Bieber a virgin? Is Justin Bieber a Christian? In addition to the two that were already, is Justin Bieber a? Anyway, once you do that, type in, is Justin Bieber a H? And you finally get responses, is Justin Bieber a homosexual? Is Justin Bieber a hermaphrodite? And is Justin Bieber a hero? Now, here at LSFilm, we didn't want you worrying about all those other questions, so we've decided to answer them all for you. So, in order, no, 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 yes, no, no, and absolutely. Now, on with the homophobia. It seems a little bit peculiar to accuse Justin Bieber of being a homophobe. After all, it seems that he spends the majority of his time on the receiving end of homophobic abuse. In fact, it wasn't all that long ago that Justin knocked out a kid in Laser Quest for calling him a faggot. It seems that the standardised Laser Quest blaster is inadequate at dealing with homophobia, but it's nothing Justin's right hand can't take care of. So anyway, with BB Baby being on the receiving end of so much homophobic abuse, it seems weird to call him a homophobe because it seems it would be very difficult for his homophobic comments to get out through the, amount of inbound malice. So we did a bit of research, and there's actually very little evidence on the internet to suggest that Justin Bieber is a homophobe. All we got was he's a Christian, and the Bible's a bit dubious about tolerance on a couple of occasions. So this made me think, maybe Ruth got her words wrong. As we're all aware, the most popular word, beginning with a H, associated with the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, is homosexual. So suppose that Ruth meant to say, is Justin Bieber a homosexual? Well, if you Google that, all you get is the inbound, all the homophobic abuse on Justin Bieber's Twitter page. So it seems Justin Bieber is not a homophobe, but that doesn't make him all right. And I quote, I was like, baby, 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 oh. Baby, 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 no. Baby, 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 oh. I thought you'd always be mine. Mine. To be honest, Justin, with lyrics like that, I'm not surprised she left you. You tit. Oh, I remember when the SROs tried to ban poppies. Here's a sketch about that.
So we're on to the first main topic of the agenda, and that's selling poppies in the guild. Now, we've decided we're not going to sell poppies in the guild this year, but we need to provide some good reasons. So has anyone got any?
Well, I'll get the ball rolling, shall I? Because I don't know about anyone else, but I suffer greatly from hay fever. And having poppies being sold everywhere will just increase the pollen count, which I've been told by the caretaker is somewhat high already.
Bob, you do realise that they're not real poppies?
It's evolutionary. Us hay fever sufferers are conditioned to begin sneezing anytime we see anything vaguely resembling foliage. Why do you think I start, sniffling up every time I get in a car with one of those Christmas tree-shaped air freshener things?
All right. Anyone else?
My mum got hit by the poppy van.
What?
Well, it was the 10th of November and my mum was looking everywhere for a poppy for the next day. And we tried B&Q. She wanted to stop off at the hatchet section. We'd had an argument on the way and apparently she didn't get that burying the hatchet was a metaphor. Anyway, we reached the till, no poppies. Then, in a bizarre twist of fate, the poppy van drove past the store. She followed that van out the store, still clutching the hatchet. I shouted at her to come back, because I could see what was going to happen. The people who worked there shouted at her to come back, because she was shoplifting the axe. Then, she just chased that van with that hatchet, looking like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. And then the van just reversed right over her. It's kind of ironic, really, that she got hit by a van full of poppies.
Why?
Well, because she's a heroin addict.
Oh, that's terrible, Keith. Very unfortunate. Look, I'm not really sure this ban's a good idea.
Did you not just hear that man's tragic story? The sale of poppies promotes drug use, Stanley Kubrick's parodies, and vehicular matricide.
Robin?
Are you saying you support vehicular matricide?
Oh, of course not. Well, I guess taking all the reasons into account, it does provide a good solid reason for our decision.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone understands.
Probably. I mean, it's not as if people are going to complain about the decision, which is quite clearly justified. Meeting adjourned, I guess.
Hi, we're back. I hope you enjoyed that. We are joined here by Scribble. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Not bad.
Had quite a fun night. You're taking you're mocking. I was about to say something naughty there. You're mocking quite a lot of the current SROs and the whole process. How do you guys come up with your ideas?
Well, we have, not to answer your question directly, we have been mocking a lot of people, and we've been doing this in a way that you may not suspect. You're currently sat with our gossip girl.
Incredible! Who's our gossip girl? Which one of you?
Well, sort of both of us.
It's kind of like a love
Oh, congratulations.
Fantastic. There we go. That is a scoop.
Guys, I've got to ask, where did our gossip girl go?
Yeah?
It started so strong
Well,
and then you were off the radar.
We should probably explain.
Go on.
We thought this would be a really good thing to write a sketch about.
It was amazing.
And then what happened? Well, our gossip girl was doing this thing, and then they went away. So we thought, instead of not yeah, instead of not writing a sketch about it, why not write the sketch but bring her back as well?
So you Gossip Girls back?
Yeah.
That's you.
That would be us.
Oh,
so who's Gossip Girl
back
2012?
was you?
Yeah, it's still good old Gossip Girl though.
Oh,
No,
so
fantastic.
you weren't the
I'm
one
not saying that at
before?
all.
Oh, good. I was going to say, yeah, no.
Christ knows.
No, we don't know.
No, but well done for acting on that,
the only
because
one thinking about
that was
Oh.
fantastic.
But never mind.
Yeah,
it was
it's-
sensational for
yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
It's,
difficult was it? How did you find out about the anti-royalist candidate buying the Queen?
We made that up.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was
It's
a
all
lie.
fair play, though. That's what a gossip
We also.
site's all
So
about.
what? You seriously thought Sam Butler was soliciting sexual favours? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
mention
I don't.
Butler. But yeah, like, we just
We
thought.
have got a mock on his mocking his slogan to suggest that, but we're not going to say it
We're
now.
not going to say who it is, but we just
Do you
thought.
know who it is?
Yeah, but we're not going to tell you that outright because.
What, you know who what is?
Gossip Girl 2012.
Was that,
Is that it?
affiliated with you, or
She had no links to us whatsoever. We
oh, good.
basically
It's the end of
Oh,
the
hey.
election. You might as well tell us.
No, I think it's up to him or her to reveal him or herself to everyone else.
Could you just tell us, are they with us this evening? Have you seen them around the guilds?
Couldn't possibly say.
Gossip Girl 2012 lives in all of us. So.
Oh, what an answer there! You got an exclusive.
Yeah, it's a pretty big scoop.
And do you think you'd ever take it to a bigger level and make it an actual university thing?
Well, now people know that that's us. We can't really use that to
Yeah,
anymore.
sorry about that. But
With the anonymity gone,
yeah.
it's like Batman. If anyone found out he was Bruce Wayne,
If anything, it could just be us. Just
how
tweeting
no one's
about
worked
you.
that out, by the way. I've not quite understood.
We need to just get some glasses and put them
Yeah.
on when we're bored. Like
That and
That's
expose
it.
Batman.
Yeah.
If you just get some blonde highlights, we can get you a bit of a red wig.
Yeah.
No one needs to know.
Yeah.
We can cut the sound from this segment. We're good to
Bit
go
late,
for
it's
another
going out
year.
live.
We just erase it from everyone's memories.
There we
and
go.
There we go.
So obviously tonight you've
That
been
is
doing
so
that kind of content. After we've got to move on.
I'm so heartbroken that we've got to move on, but yeah, we have. Okay.
So how did you kind of come up with the Ruth and Bob sketches, and how is it a personal? Is it something you feel like they've done, which you don't agree with, or is it, are you
for
close
me-
to these people, or?
Well, I think what happened. Well, I think there's been a lot of things that have happened in the guild this year
Yeah.
that people have been unhappy with. I mean, the Poppygate stuff that got it was a petition that got 400 signatures in less than 24 hours.
It's fantastic.
People cared about that, and the thing was, I mean, if people these people were elected, we voted for them. And if that's what we wanted to happen, then fine, vote for these people. But I think the problem was people weren't informed about their voting. I think that's a real problem.
Pretty much.
That's not a joke.
And out of interest, how on earth did you get Ruth on camera saying that Justin Bieber was a homophobe?
Well, we didn't. That was LSFilm.
Yeah, it was LSFilm.
They just told us about it and we wrote.
Was that in a wider context,
It
or
was
do you
in
know
a
anything
I've
about?
seen the clip. I saw it a couple of months ago.
Okay.
It was in a context. The question was something like your likes on the LGoS website include Liverpool Football Club and Justin Bieber. I think is the actual
Right.
question.
God knows why.
How do you feel? And she laughs and goes, "Well, Liverpool FC and all that, blah, etc." I like Justin Bieber, but he's a homophobe, and it just seemed so out of the blue that you had to act on it.
Well, I think at the end of the day, we did a bit of research, and there's very little to say that he is, and I thought it'd be quite funny just to talk for a few minutes on whether Justin Bieber was in fact a homophobe or not.
Just
He
exploit
isn't.
that.
So if you're worried,
He is not a homophobe.
He isn't. Don't sue us.
if we say anything else, that's slander.
Yeah.
So
Pretty much.
We're not allowed to do.
And who would you love to have a bit of footage of to do a spoof of? If there was someone else in the
Your
guild,
ideal candidate or person in the guild
that you've not quite had the chance to get your teeth into.
probably Tom B.
Yeah.
Sorry,
or
Tom.
maybe take down Nation Redford's campaign and project an idea of I shame as well.
Very nice. Well, thank you very much for that exclusive. And here is a lovely, pretty picture.
And I'm so happy we finally got to the bottom of the mystery of Gossip Girl. Thank you for revealing yourself, Gossip
Not a
Girls.
problem.
And enjoy the election results.
Yeah.
I stand here to listen and to stand up for those voices and make sure that this guild does work for you. The officers are out there talking to students, campaigning on change you want. Is that an impossible task? No. It's a duty, a responsibility to be representative, and one I will step up to.
The Guild is the focal point of the students' experience. It enables us not only to develop ourselves as students outside the academic environment, but to make ourselves better than the average citizens in society. If elected, I intend to use societies and clubs in the Guild, the AU, and even outside the university to further enrich the lives of our students. I intend to make the Guild focus on students because, after all, it's for the students, by the students.
In terms of the one thing I want to change at the Guild, it is for the Guild to put on a lot more events, because I believe that one of the reasons why students are not coming into the Guild is because there's not a lot on at the Guild. If we were to reduce the drinks prices and put on a lot more events, I think more students would come into the building and use it on a daily basis. I believe that bar in particular would not be empty every single evening, and a lot more students would get a lot more involved in societies and student politics.
Okay, at university, we've got a lot of lecturers who are great teachers, and then we've got a lot of lecturers whose skill clearly lies in the research. If I could change one thing, it would be to improve the baseline of teaching quality that comes, even if that's just from a simple thing, like improving the use of technology in a lecture, to break it up, to get it on the screen, simple things that can improve the learning experience. At the union, I would make the societies more integrational. There's so much good activity going on. I think if we got involved with each other a bit more, let each other know what was happening, get more people to get into things that are outside their usual area, you could really get an exciting hub of activity coming through in the union.
Okay, how would I best represent international and postgraduate students? As a British-born undergraduate, obviously I've not had the personal experience with that. However, I'm very good at talking to people. One of my main policies is to increase SRO contact time with students, and that will of course include international and postgraduate students. I personally go around myself, liaising with students, find out what issues affect them, do censuses across the board to truly find what every single student needs and what they want, and to push that through the Guild and make an effective change. Is that all right?
Got 15 seconds if you want to use it.
All right. Yeah, I'd probably take them to the pub afterwards as well, have a little chat about things. That'd be all right.
Still 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah, and then get a taxi home together. Sorry.
Everyone, I think what means the Guild President to me is responsibility, is thinking about how to attract people, bring them together. As I have mentioned that friend is very important in the university, Guild can give this opportunity to people to know each other and find the people who have the same interest. And I think that's all. Thank you.
To start with the university, I think it's fantastic that we're a Red Brick Russell Group uni and we've got a lot of tradition, 100 years and all that lot, but that doesn't reflect now, and I think there needs to be better communication between tutors and with students about what they actually want from their learning experience, and that goes further than simply like a new Vital or a new e-learning strategy. I was speaking to a tutor this morning, and he said, well, I'm not going to use Vital because students can't be bothered to get out of bed and they'll just look on Vital. But actually Vital could be a really, really useful tool in helping with the course, not just a replacement for it.
If you asked me this when I just started uni, it probably wouldn't have meant anything to me because I just didn't know. But ever since I started getting involved with student activity, be that the Vice President of Rankin Hall, I've just been hearing numerous amount of issues, be that the ultimate frisbee player wondering why AU Night's not held at the Students' Union, be it the LS radio presenter wondering why their show is shunned over in favour of sub-TV. And I feel that the Guild President means to me that I can sort of represent all these problems and issues and try and change them for the better. And so that's basically it. It's representing all the different multitude of students' views that I've heard. Anyway, thank you.
I think the only way is hard work. I will not only just say what I'm going to do. I promise that I will do something, and I will try my best to do everything I want to do, and I will spare all my effort to achieve my goals and achieve the changes. Thank you.
The best way to make change happen, I think, is face-to-face talk.
if you talk to people, if you speak to them, no matter there's language barriers, you can bring your translators. It helps to understand what students talk. And let students to know guild is for them. There's no bias to any party in the guild. There's no discrimination. There's no, the guild is not against them, but the guild is to support students and to make them believe the guild is a place where they could go and where they could go for help, go for services.
I don't have the fancy titles like guild trustee or previous president of any societies. But what I offer you is a heart of motives, a heart that's willing to listen, to learn, and to really do something for all of you, despite of race, color, religion, anything. You might think that I'm a stupid Chinese guy who's standing here talking nonsense. But the thing is, like, I am a university student, I am willing to represent you, and I will work hard to you. I'm dedicated for whole this event, this whole everything. That's all I got. A pure heart and a willingness to be success. Thank you. My name is Yuan, and please vote for me. And we are all together.
Thank you. I'm going to be honest with you. The main thing that I'm running for is student representation, and that's what pretty much everybody up here is running for. I'm not sure that I can do the job better than anyone else. I'm just confident that I'm willing to give it a shot, and that really what we're here for is to represent you. So my job as an SRR, if I am elected, is to actually represent you and be down here in the courtyard and interviewing you, and to show up at your lectures and talk with you and see what your actual opinions are. That's all I can promise, is that I'm going to make an effort to represent students as much as they are willing to be represented, which in my experience is quite a heck of a lot.
NUS delegates. But what is an NUS delegate and what do they do?
role in what we're doing, and the fact that we've had 11 international students standing, which is absolutely fantastic. So if you could please do a warm welcome to Mr. Michael Hoey.
Well, what an evening. When I was asked to do this, I thought, this is a real honour, but now I realise I'm the only untalented person who's performed tonight. What an incredible crowd. When I saw the drums, I thought, this is what makes life worth living. And then we had tap dancing, break dancing, and why, by the way, is break dancing not an Olympic sport? We had athletics, we had disco dancing, we had ballet dancing, we had Indian dancing, we had Indian song, both in Tamil and in Hindi. We had a torch singer with a big band. And I must have missed something out, but boy, it was great. And now you've got me. But what I wanted to say was, it's a real tribute, both to the strength of the Guild, and actually to the strength of the whole city and the universities in it. And thanks very much indeed to Liverpool Hope and Liverpool John Moores for their contribution. That was brilliant. You've got a great Guild, you've got a great city, you are great students. And we're proud of you. As a Pro-Vice Chancellor of Internationalisation, I was particularly excited by the fact there are so many international students who have stood for Guild officer places in this election. This is a truly international... You may not know this, but we are actually the 59th most international university in the world. Measured in terms of students and staff, publications, a whole range of ways. And it is really important that we keep a truly global society going. We have a government at the moment that doesn't recognise the value of international students. That in pandering for those of narrow prejudices is prepared to prevent the best students in the world coming to the UK and contributing to and making even better the educational experience of those who are already here. But internationalisation, in its own right, can be either good or it can be bad. It can be international aid, or it can be cocaine traffic. There's nothing inherently good about internationalisation. What really matters in internationalisation are two things. First of all, that everybody learns they're part of a big world, and they learn to be more understanding, more tolerant, more curious, more involved, and they build friendships across the world. That's one thing that's really important about internationalisation. And the second thing is that there should be a relationship between the international student and the home tutor, which is one of mutual pride. And once you've said that, that's actually true. If you're a home student, there should be mutual pride. There should be a home student should feel proud of the tutor, and the tutor should feel proud of the student. And that's why this Guild, and that's why this Guild election is very important. Because it's the Guild's job to be a critical friend to the university, to make sure that we do the best job by all the students that we possibly can. And I want to say thank you to the Guild. I've had the great privilege of visiting a number of the international societies in the Guild, and they have been all incredibly interesting people, thoroughly committed, thoroughly enthusiastic, and that would be true whatever societies, whether they were international or just doing common interests. And what I think we've got here is a great Guild. I've been proud to work with the officers in the last 2 years. I know I shall enjoy working with the officers in the coming year. And I want to say congratulations in advance to all those who win, and also congratulations to those who don't win, because by their standing, they have ensured that this election has made the officers that do get elected valid and representative. You should be proud of yourselves, because I gather that it's been the biggest turnout in the election so far, and you should be proud of your officers, proud of your guild, above all else though, proud of being highly talented people in a brilliant university, one of 3 universities of great merit in the city, in the great city, one of the greatest cities of the world. I'll quit while I'm winning. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Michael Hoey. Can I just say, there aren't many Pro-Vice Chancellors who would give up their Friday nights to come and spend time with the students that they work for and to address the students and to support the students in the way that Michael, his wife Sue, has. So please give it up for them, because I think it's really great. Their support to the Guild has been outstanding, but your support even more so. I am so proud that all students from across the city have come together this evening, and the results are in. So I'm going to pass over to Miss Dade, Miss Rachel Byrne and Mr. Darren McCabe, and they will give you the results. Hello everyone! Is everybody excited about the results? Yeah! Okay, well welcome to Liverpool issue, Hope issue and LGoS election results, and a very special welcome to the Guild of Students. My name is Meg McDade and I'm the current president of the Guild.
And I'm Darren McCabe, I'm the president of Liverpool issue.
And I'm Rachel Byrne, president of Liverpool Home. I want LGoS to be just that rowdy, please. This year's elections have been bigger and better than ever before, with Hope joining us this year, so students across Liverpool have been voting.
This year, for the first time ever, we worked together on our elections, ensuring that more students than ever are voting. And our candidates have worked hard to do this too. Across the city, they've been out speaking to students about the issues that matter to them and persuading them to vote. We've seen innovative campaigning. We've had videos, zombie flash mobs, guitar playing, owling, planking, Mr. Blobby, Fancy Dress Friday, and a humour pyramid. This has meant that a record-breaking number of students have taken the time to vote. 10,738 students across the city voted. That's 23% of the student population. Woo!
Okay, before the results, we'd like to thank some people. First, I'd like to thank the societies who visited us tonight. I think they deserve a round of applause. They've obviously helped us make this a great event. A big thank you should go out to the elections committees who provide a real commitment, calm heads. Sorry to turn the page. Decisions had to be made. These elections have gone so smoothly. It's also down to them as well. So a round of applause for them, please. We'd also like to thank our student media teams who have worked hard to promote the elections, candidates, and they haven't necessarily clocked off yet, so I think they need a massive round of applause because they've been doing. And they're currently streaming these results on the website at the minute. Next, we'd like to thank the candidates. And their campaign teams. Come on, campaign teams! We have been overwhelmed by your enthusiasm, commitment, and your sheer energy. A massive round of applause. Come on, folks! And finally, a huge thank you to all the students who voted. You've made sure the next year's officers will have the strongest mandate ever. Come on!
Alright guys, we're going Right, the running order for this evening is
Liverpool SU NUS delegation,
LGoS NUS delegates,
Hope SU student officers,
LGoS trustees,
Liverpool SU Vice President Activities,
Hope SU Vice President Education,
Liverpool SU Vice President Community Engagement,
Hope SU Vice President Welfare,
Liverpool SU Academic Quality,
Hope SU President.
I want LGoS to shout louder than that. The LGoS SRO team! The LGoS president!
yeah! And obviously we saved the best to last, Liverpool SU President! Okay, at Liverpool SU we received 4,158 votes, a massive 19% of student population, and a 5% increase of votes on last year. Well done! Now, on the Liverpool SU NUS delegates for 2011-2012, in this election there were 8 candidates standing for 6 positions. They were Paul Abernethy, Tom Aldis, Kylie Mills, Nathan Selby, Kate Wilkinson, Ephraim Mohammed, Redwan, Abdurrahman, and Ron, which is reopened nominations. Okay. There was 2,877 votes were cast in this election, and the following people were elected. Paul Abernethy, Tom Aldis, Kylie Mills, Nathan Selby, Kate Wilkinson, and Redwan Abram.
Great. At LGoS we received 5,471 votes. That's 30% of the student population. Now, for our NUS delegates, we had 11 candidates standing for 5 positions. We had Anne Manzou, Dee Lee, Maggie Hayes, Wang Yang Chen, Charlotte Nichols, Bob Sutton, Emma Lynch, Harry Anderson, Jonathan Boyer, Luke Staunton, and Omar El Taji. 2,319 votes were cast in this election, and the following people, in no particular order, were elected. We had Bob Sutton, Charlotte Nichols, Emma Lynch, Harry Anderson, and Maggie Hayes.
At Hope SU, we received 1,109 votes, which was a record-breaking 16% voter turnout. Now to the Hope student officers elected. There were 37 candidates for 20 positions. The following people were elected: Community Officer Dawn Walker, Black Minority and Ethnic Officer Rizzy Cat Ademi Adimore, Women's Officer Amy McCabe, Disabled Students Officer Sophie Bevan, Student Engagements Officer Amy Owen Burrows, Clubs and Society Reps Joshua Holden, Creative Campus Rep Alex Pavlo, Environmental Officer Tom May, Campaigns Officer Michaela Martin, Everett Campus Rep Michelle Crawford, International Student-led Heart Card, Union Secretary Emily Gard. Woo! Activities Officer Alex Hayes Sinclair, Sports Rep Officer Rebecca Maynard, Sports Rep Hannah Prosser, Student Journalist Emma Cole and Sean Daly, Mature Student Rep Rihanna Lowton, and LGBT Officer Andy Herring.
Amazing. Right, now on to LGoS trustees. In this election, there were 3 brilliant candidates for 2 positions. They were Anne Manzou, Martin Paul, and James Telfair. 2,512 votes were cast in this election, and the following people were elected as student trustees: Martin Paul and James Telfair.
votes cast in this election. And the Vice President Activities for Liverpool SU is Tom Allen. Congratulations.
Now on to Home SU Vice President Welfare. There were 5 candidates for one position. Joshua Briley, Lawrence Olby, Nia Amradi, Peter Downey and Ron. There were 877 votes cast in this election, and the Vice President for Welfare for Hope SU is Peter Downey.
Okay, now on to Liverpool SU Vice President Community Engagement. There were 3 candidates running for one position. Sorry, folks, a bit of hush, please. Thank you very much. They were Sean Godwin, Curtis Reid, and Ron. Reopen nominations. There were 3,867 votes cast in this election, and the Vice President for Community Engagement for Liverpool SU is Curtis Reid. Congratulations, Curtis.
Now we move on to Hope SU Vice President Education. There were 5 candidates running for one position. Can we have a bit of quiet? Shut up. They were Christopher Matthews, Matthew Ferris, Richard Welsh, Shauna Fivey and Ron. There were 916 votes cast in the election, and the Vice President at Hope SU for Education is Shauna Fivey.
Okay, now on to Liverpool SU Vice President Academic Quality. There were 4 candidates for one position. Sorry, a bit of hush, please. The President is speaking. Thank you very much. They were 4 candidates for one position. They were Nathan Selby, Kate Wilkinson, and Damien Robson. And there was also Ron. There were 4,008 votes cast in this election, and the Vice President Academic Quality for Liverpool SU is Kate Wilkinson. Congratulations, Kate.
Now on to Hope SU President. There were 5 candidates for one position. They were Louise Cookson, Ben Ramsdale,
the student officer team. Ooh, I know and you don't. We have Maggie! We have, I'm so happy for everybody. We have Chi-Chi Malakono. We have Sam Butler. And we have Tom B. Right, I need your attention for 1 minute. The LGoS president for 2012-13 is Sam Butler.
Okay, folks, can I have your attention for just a couple more minutes? Okay, folks, please can I have your attention for a couple more minutes? We do the last announcement. Okay! Now on to Liverpool SU, position of president. There were 4 candidates standing for 1 position. They were Paul Abernethy, Kylie Mills, Jason Kinson Holmes, and also Ron reopened nominations. There were 4,158 votes cast in this election, and the Liverpool SU president for 2012-2013